Hello, and thank you guys for tuning in to Outside the Box, an MLS podcast. My name is Juanners. I'm happy to be joined here by Jeremy Peterman,
Hello.
Major League Shill, Daniel Shill,
What's up, gang? How we living?
and unfortunately, Joss could not make the podcast. He had a stomach bug, but we will be sure to address each of his games as well. As you all know, made the trip out to Seattle, and with the fun of Seattle comes a lot of drinking, a lot of talking, a lot of not really watching the games. So upon arrival from Seattle, it was a lot of catch-up work, as they may say. And so I didn't get a chance to really digest all the games here. So still in preseason mode, but right after this week, right when, there's at least a computer in front of me where I can keep up to date on all of the MLS happenings, it'll be a lot better of a season and an episode, hopefully. But fellas, MLS Matchday 1 is concluded. It's always the best time because we've been waiting for this, and then the teams go out, they play, and it just completely, I think more and more people are starting to temper their expectations on some of these, but I've already been hearing from you guys that there's some best teams already in the midst. Daniel, what team were you alluding to before we kicked that off?
So we got to take it with a grain of salt because we don't really know who the New England Revolution are at this point. We're only 1 week into the season. But I watched some of the most dominating MLS soccer that I've seen in a while, right? Through Nashville FC this weekend. I think Madrigal was an absolute animal, and he was the perfect replacement for a guy like Jacob Schaffelberg. I think Sam Sturridge is solidifying himself as a top 5 striker in this league, up there with the Peter Musas. And Espinosa offered so much wide. And we can talk about him more when we actually talk about the game and who they are as a team. But, man, I was just super impressed.
Jeremy beforehand said that he had the most fun game, and I would venture to guess I know which one he's talking about, but yep. Tell us about the most fun game over the weekend, bro.
Well, as the only member of this panel, well, including the ill Joss, who has won this weekend, starting off with 3 points on the first day, I can confidently say that whenever the Portland Timbers and Columbus Crew get together, you are going to get a banger. And the season opener at Providence Park fell right into that category. A thrilling first half, a late winner, maybe not deserved. Who cares? It's match day 1. Points are points, is what I have to say in regards to that. But yes, it was a really thrilling game between a new Crew team with a new head coach and a Timbers team that, above all else, is willing to fight.
Man, I wonder who brings you that fighting spirit, Jeremy. I'm sure we'll get into it as we talk about the games. But fellas, how much of the cliche do you like, the general soccer cliche here? How you start the season is how your season will end up going. Like, how much do you guys think of that being a valid cliche? Do you think things could always change between now and, World Cup break? And even then, after the World Cup break, all these dynamics are going to change. I mean, Dallas started off poorly and then managed to find a new system and work their way into the MLS Cup playoffs last season. But how much of that cliche, before we get into the game, how much of that cliche are you guys buying into?
I had to scale it like 1 out of 10.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what are your general thoughts on it? Because I've always thought there was some merit to it. I do quite like that cliche. I think when Jeremy says like, this is probably one of the most fun games over the weekend. Well, maybe that's what the rest of Portland's season looks like. You know what I mean? But How do you guys feel about that cliche though, just generally?
I think it definitely stands true for different situations over others. You take a look at like Montreal, right? They have not had a whole lot of momentum going into this season. Them getting stomped 5-0, like not a shock to anybody. Absolutely cliche hits home for them, right? But then you look at like a St. Louis or a Charlotte where we know they're both talented and we don't really know who they're going to be this year. That draw is kind of like I don't know, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess that cliche does kind of hit home. But at the same time, like Portland versus Columbus, Columbus didn't take home any points, but even Jeremy tweeted out that Abdul Ali was the best player he saw all weekend. When he's going to talk about that a lot, I'm sure, today. So, I mean, does it really mean a whole lot to Columbus to drop 3 points in an away game the whole way in Portland when they still had the best player on the pitch? I don't know. I'll let Jeremy say his thoughts, though.
I mean, ordinarily I would agree with like how you start the season sets the tone for like your entire season, but I don't think it's going to hold true this year because of how significant that World Cup break is and the fact that the majority of the games are going to occur after the World Cup is over. So I think that how the season begins is going to determine which teams are going to be like, are going to enter that summer window and say, okay, we're a playoff team. Like now we either need to strengthen or like in the case of some teams, like maybe they'll sell a little bit and then like reload. So these first 14 games are going to be really, really, really fun. And a lot of teams are going to have like extended road trips during this because they play in a World Cup city and they have to make sure that their football stadium has grass on it, Seattle. But yeah, I'm really, really interested to see not so much like from match day one, how much these games are going to matter in the long run. I know Seattle fans last year, they referred to every single like poor result as to what does this say about the Charlotte game when they dropped points at home to Charlotte to open last year. And then Portland, which their match day one game last year was a 4-1 loss at home to Vancouver where they played down a man for like 80 plus minutes. So some of these games are going to mean more than others. But then there are also things that are going to keep popping up during the season, like Thomas Avila's getting sent off. So I'm very interested to see. I'm more interested to see what changes from match day one to match day two, as opposed to looking back at like one of these games in September and being like, oh yeah, like we knew this was going to happen because of how they looked on match day one. Like it's going to be drastically different the way a team's going to look in September versus a way they look today, particularly with like visa issues and stuff still getting sorted. Timo Werner.
Yeah, I saw there was an article on Backheeled when it came to in MLS, an unbalanced schedule means your team's fate might already be decided. I haven't even gotten a chance to read that one yet, but
It's a good article.
I think that is, I don't know if they talk about that cliche in there per se, but I have always just come back to knowing like deep down, I don't know, there's something about that first game of the season. And other times it ends up, manifesting well, but other times it ends up in a really interesting Seattle Sounders, Colorado Rapids matchup. Of course, fellas, that is my team. That is the game I saw in attendance this weekend, and what a game it was. What a game it was. Man, that game gave me whiplash, bro. I think from the very beginning, the way in which Colorado just started playing really closely out of the bag, like they had not just their center backs, but they had Hamza Ujidar and Atencio like along that back line, and they after they got it out, they just did not know what to do with it. And the Sounders, man, they knew exactly what they wanted to do with the ball every single time. The Rapids press was just so disorganized, so janky. They looked like a team that had just been assembled for the first time and just trying to get to know each other, right? And so, man, I don't know. What did you guys make of it at home? I know it was not the prettiest of viewings for a Sunday night nightcap, but I'll throw it over to Jeremy.
That first half was one of the worst things I've ever seen. And I don't think that that's like an exaggeration or anything. Like, how can you play 60 minutes in a first half and still have nothing happen? Like, the only notable things that happened were multiple VAR reviews, Jordan Morris going off after 8 minutes. Apparently, I do have an update on that. That's like a quad injury per one of Seattle's beat reporters. He's going to be out for about a month, which is closer to a month and a half because it's a muscle. It's got to rehab properly. 8 minutes into the season, that's a great way to start your season, Seattle. But also, you could just bring in Paul Rothrock.
Yes.
And,
oh my God.
Yeah. Paul Rothrock. He all he does is make me mad, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, I saw him in person after the Sounders beat the Timbers last year in Seattle, and he was still being very nice to a child, and I was still like, you're not gonna make me like you, Paul. You're not. And especially when you look at the first goal that Seattle scores, which is entirely Rothrock. Like, the diagonal goes out to the wing, and I'm pretty sure Reggie Cannon.
Jesus.
Yeah. Reggie Cannon assumes this ball is just going to go out of bounds, but he does not account for Paul Rothrock's work rate, which is the best in the entire league. Rothrock hurls himself at this ball. He's only been on the pitch a couple of minutes. He somehow keeps it in bounds, smashes into the ad boards with like a cartoon sound effect, and then he's able to re-enter the pitch with no pressure on him, mind you, because Reggie Cannon is just counting his legs on the edge of the box, and Rothrock's still able to take a couple touches, still no pressure coming from Cannon, mind you, and he's able to get a dime of a cross in that Albert Rusnak is able to flick past Zach Steffen at the far post, which, to be clear, very good header.
Can you stop?
I know. I would like to stop, but I have to keep talking about this. It's infuriating because this is what Paul Rothrock's going to do better than any player in the league, and it's hustle. And if you could bring a guy like that off the bench, a guy who just signed a new contract after flirting with the San Jose Earthquakes for whatever reason, probably to be like, hey, Craig, I don't really want to go to San Jose. Please give me offer. Please give me contract. I want to stay home. And they get the contract done. He's the first man off the bench in the 8th minute. He gets the game-winning assist, and he gets a goal for good measure as well in the second half. But that first half was absolutely ridiculous. I feel like the refereeing discourse is going to have their field day with that. I haven't watched the instant replay. But I think the majority of the calls were correct. And by the way, if we're talking karma, we go back to last year when Rafa Navajo scores what should have been a winner for the Rapids in the reverse fixture of this matchup in between Colorado and Seattle at the Dick. And it gets wiped off for no reason, just an instant foul, like, oh, he fouled Yamar on the header. No. You have nothing to complain about that Osaze foul, because that was just as nothing as that Yamar foul. But it did have to go to VAR, and when Malik Badawi is saying, oh, this is actually Jesus Ferreira's fault on the in-stadium announcement, and Ferreira is nowhere near the play, that says a lot about this PRO officiating team. And I haven't seen Badawi be like that bad before, but he's already towards like the bottom of the officials PRO can trot out. So terrible first half, terrible officiating. I'm not going to talk about the Rapids yet because I'm very, very angry at Matt Wells for a majority of reasons. But the second half was basically like, okay, Colorado, can you get something going? They could not. It took Jesus Ferreira nutmegging Noah Cobb with a diagonal ball, which kind of got Harrington a little off balance. Rothrock, once again, he gets it on his left foot and he puts it top bins. He has no right doing that either. Just a very routine Seattle Sounders win, and a lot of questions about Colorado, even though everyone here can agree that the Sounders are they're going to be a top 4 team in the West. But you still got to be a little concerned for the Rapids after this one.
Daniel.
I'm sorry I have to do this, but we got the almost incredibly impressive feat from the Colorado Rapids this weekend, where almost you can't see it because of stupid Christian Kalina behind me, but almost every single person on FootMob was in the orange in terms of their match ratings.
Whatever.
That's how ugly. That's how ugly it was to watch. I will say I did expect a lot more from your Paxton Aronson, Darren Yappy, Dante Sealy, and Rafa Navarro front four. I think that front four could be very dynamic, but I think the epitome of where things are going wrong with this team in terms of communication lapses on the field was that moment of the second goal, I believe it was, when Paxton Aronson was dispossessed right near the halfway line. Jesus Ferreira, who, by the way, I actually thought looked really good. It's been kind of cool seeing the almost Timo Werner-fication of Jesus Ferreira, where he was a really, really good striker when he was younger, and now he got moved out to the winger, and he's making it work. But that pass across the box where I feel like Stefan could have came out and got it, it got deflected anyway, and it was really kind of a situation that never should have happened because Travis deflected it directly to – who scored the second goal? I don't even remember who scored it.
Rothrock.
Was it Rothrock? That was the Rothrock goal?
Yeah. Of course it was Rothrock.
It was just a really, really ugly sequence that could have been completely avoidable, all because of the disorganizational issue. I think where Colorado's struggling, I would say the most based off what I saw, is their ability to break presses. I feel like they're really struggling in tight spaces, which in a league that presses consistently is definitely something that can lead to disaster if it doesn't get figured out quickly. Seattle is who I thought they were. I think what happened to Jordan Morris, as sadly as I can say, it doesn't shock me because it happens every year at this point. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly sad because he can be one of the best goal scorers in this league when he's healthy. But yeah, I mean, Seattle looked like they did last year, if I'm being honest. Not a whole lot changed. And Colorado looked like they took a step back. And I don't really know where that came from because just looking at them on the surface, Colorado should not be taking a step back. This is a team that should have moved forward a little bit because all they lost really was Jordy and Bassett. And for some reason, they let go of Sam Vines. What's going on there?
Well, I mean, the Vines one's tough because it was had been a minute since he even looked like the, surging left wing back that, gets into the attacking phase superbly. And, on the other end against the ball, he's quite tidy. But I mean, when you're a team that, leaves as many holes as the Rapids do, it's he's very rarely going to ever do much against the ball that'll actually, prevent the larger issues. My biggest frustrations were with Paxton Aronson's play and Rafael Navarro's performance. I think I don't know. It's one thing to be like Evander and Denke and not have chemistry, but because they're each individually just, top class. But then if you're Paxton Aronson and Navarro, you need chemistry. Like there is no other way that Aronson at the 10 would work without having at least, a bit more of a, combination with Hoffa. Cause I mean, I don't know, dude. It felt like they were just on, it didn't feel like, I don't know. It just didn't play on the same team. It was weird. It was like, very rarely did they ever come together on an attacking idea. And Lucas Arrington, man, I think shout out to Judgmental Jim because he was quick to hype up the Aussie center back. But yeah, it's Lucas Arrington. I think one of my bold takes at the bar after smoking a bit of weed from Scott Hammond. Shout out to Scott, and actually shout out to everybody that came up to me throughout the trip and said how much they enjoyed the program, how much they enjoyed the riding. So slowly but surely getting ourselves out there to the Box State outside the box listeners, I guess now would be a good time to say that we're all likely going to be at MLS All-Star Game, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, maybe it's time to do a big outside the box event. Get it going for Mr. Daniel Schill. Hit his neck of the woods a little bit, but yeah, anything to bring the life back in traveling for soccer, because man, being there and seeing it just unfold. I knew it was an L before, and now I'm like, okay, I still need to see more of the Rapids before I can really make up my mind, fellas. But I want a palate cleanser here. Let's go to
really quickly. I already am out on the Rapids because based on the way that I can tell Wells wants this team to play with deep buildup and like trying to create like just quick, fast like transition moments, you can't do that with Darren Yappy on the wing. You can't fucking do that. I'm sorry. You have to put Yappy up top, and you have to put one of your actual wingers out there. They look better when Manyoma got on, and relying on Josh Atencio for the majority of the ball progression while Connor Ronan's sitting on the bench, that's a mistake. I feel like he's making some personnel errors early. And based on my experience with former Tottenham assistants, I don't know how much those are going to improve.
Ooh, way to hit the feeling a little Spursy right at the end there. Yeah. I love that take. I honestly have come to this conclusion, but I still need to see more games. You know what I mean? Like he hinted at Alex Harris potentially starting. And I mean, even Harrington and Cobb starting, that was no surprise to me. I thought benching Rob Holding there would have been, especially on turf, I guess. But like, I don't know. Do we see Rob Holding in the 11? It's do we see Connor Ronan? Like, there's still changes and a different side of this team where we're still finding out their best 11. So, but nothing you said is wrong. I will say, like, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Let's palate cleanse to LAFC and Miami. Of course, if Miami and LAFC were towards the late minutes of the pod, they're going to be towards the early ones here because, man, I mean, it's LAFC Miami. You obviously have to market that as the league. I thought in the Rose Bowls, it's really neat. LAFC guys, they are legit. I don't know if anyone here really had their doubts, but let's talk about Miami because I think we have an addition to the most expensive. What does he even do? Do you guys have any nominees for the most expensive? What does he even do?
Victor Roberto?
No.
Oh boy. Rodrigo De Paul.
Come on, guys.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. Oh my God. I am here for that.
Yeah, he had a pretty rough game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm ready to see Ashala and Bright now. And I don't know why if you're gonna give them money up for a guy like Ashala and just kind of not really utilize them, it's a disservice. I mean, the Timbers might look like the winners from that trade. Oh my God, if they don't even use Ashala, but plenty of games left for Miami. It's a long season, right? And ain't nothing wrong with losing to LAFC, man. They are, especially on the road like that. I'll turn it over to you guys. What'd you make of this game?
I would like to quickly talk about Miami because I had a conversation with Jake Zivin yesterday, who, #1 Apple TV voice, does a ton of Miami games. So when he tells me something about Miami, I absolutely listen because he sees that team more than like any other broadcaster. And he talked about the telepathic connection that Messi had with Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets, and Suarez. And if you're taking two of those players out, specifically Busquets, who they missed his distribution significantly, And you missed Alba just being able to get up on the left and act as an outlet, and Messi always knowing where he is. Zivin described Alba as the best left-sided player in the league. Like, if he was a winger, the only player that could compare to him would be Dedi Bouanga. Now, I don't know how much I agree with that, but in terms of his importance to Miami, Jordi Alba's absence for the rest of this year and just permanently going forward, because he's not playing again, that's going to be really, really interesting to watch, because Messi, as he didn't have a good game in this one, and that's mostly due to the fact that he didn't really have Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets around him, and LAFC knew exactly how they were going to contain this Miami team that was going to struggle with ball progression as a result of Alba and Busquets not being there. So I fully believe that Miami has to solve for that, and I don't see how they're going to do that right now. I do believe they should be playing David Ajala more, because his underlyings, he basically profiles a mini Busquets in Portland. Now, he can't be a full Busquets because there's only one Busquets, but if you're looking for a guy to replicate what Busquets can do, not completely, you're going to have to turn to David Ajala. Now, I'm wondering if they're going to be saving him more for Champions Cup, because that's the competition that they're going to be prioritizing over the league, because as soon as they make the playoffs, it doesn't matter. Like, they'll be able to put together a cup run relatively easy because they're Inter Miami. But I'm really interested to see how they rebound this week against Orlando, and whether or not Messi will play, because he's made it a point to never play in Orlando, which is a level of pettiness that I can't even ascribe to.
Daniel, what are your thoughts? Do you have any more Miami in the LAFC?
I'm not going to expand too much more, because I think Jeremy hit a lot of nails on the head there. What I will say is two really decent thoughts here. One, Son, people didn't know when he first came to the league whether or not he'd be vying for one of those winger slots, and maybe you move Bouanga to the right side and let Son play his left, or if he's going to play as a center forward. I think when he had his best years at Tottenham, in scoring the most amount of goals, he proved that he could do that as a center forward, and he did that with such grace and elegance against Inter Miami. It just felt like he belonged there. He's able to drop deep, almost like a Harry Kane used to do for Tottenham in England, and sling balls through almost like a second attacking midfielder. And I think that's going to be really hard to stop. So I think we've always had questions about Inter Miami's defense, and they got burnt a lot. Like, David Martinez and Dennis Bouanga are just so pacey, and they just time and time again got themselves caught out of position. And it's going to happen. It's not the first time it's going to happen this year. It happened consistently over these last 2 to 3 years. They just always find a way to score goals and keep themselves in games. So I wouldn't, if you're an Inter Miami fan, I wouldn't really take too much away from this outside of where are our goals going to come from, because so I watched the game and then I turned around and watched the highlights again. And the first shot on target came from a Messi curler in the 57th minute. Like, that is an inconsistent way to score goals. And you don't notice those things when you're watching it, right? But when you're watching the highlights, and that's the first attacking highlight for Inter Miami that exists in the game, you're like, oh shit, it was a lot worse than I thought it was. So your questions shouldn't be on your defense. It should be, where are my goals going to come from? Because that's what saved our ass for the last 2 to 3 years. The second point, I actually have 3 points now that I think about it. The second point is, I think this is going to be the year. People talk about constantly with Major League Soccer, it's a really, really, really good strikers against and attackers versus really, really bad defenders. And I don't think we're at that point in Major League Soccer anymore. We're at the point now where midfielders matter. We got really, really good really, really good Tillman this weekend. Me and my buddy, we call him Tilmar because Neymar. I don't know why. So we got really, really good Tilmar this weekend. We got really, really, really good Eustachio. And Mark Delgado, we know what kind of player he is. That's going to be one of the best midfielders in midfield pairings in Major League Soccer this year. Flip it around, Rodrigo De Paul and Bright look like they haven't played together, which, to be fair, they've only played together for about half a year. But Rodrigo De Paul, you pay him that kind of money so he can slot in and kind of assimilate himself to the team, right? The team shouldn't assimilate themselves to him. That he should assimilate himself to the team because you pay him that much money because he's that good of a player. And then the third point I have to make is this game really proves the amount of depth that the top end teams in this league are building. And I think that should be applauded because that's always been a major issue in Major League Soccer. I think that's been a reason why we've struggled to compete outside of Major League Soccer in international or in CONCACAF competitions. And I think when you're able to bring in Tyler Boyd and Nathan Ordaz, and you have Smolikov on the bench, and Ryan Hollinghood's on the bench, and Ryan Raposo on the bench, and you have Aaron Log and Igor Jesus and Jacob Schaffelberg injured, like LAFC is deep, and Inter Miami's pretty deep too, but LAFC is super deep. This LAFC team's depth is like how I hyped up Seattle Sounders depth week 1 of last year. Just better. And that's all I got for you.
I wanted to talk because you said you were like hyping up Human Son, and I wanted to say no goals, quite Spursy.
Quite Spursy.
No, but I mean, Human Son is awesome, dude. Like
he's elite.
That's such a sick signing. And it's like these are the teams that are, you know, like really pushing the league forward, right? I was talking to some of the homies about Seattle. I was like, they don't have an out and out star. You know what I mean? Like their star just got sold to Atletico Madrid, you know? And it's like, yeah, you either have to be super on point in building depth and, you know, and knowing where to buy in the league, right? Rusnak, Ferreira. But man, if it's not also fun to see LAFC and Miami going at it just with, you know, dogs. The one thing I want to talk about Miami is that back line, dude. I know Maxi Falcone is a steadying presence, but all of them getting burned on that Buanga goal, like just one
Most
simple
notably
line breaking
Sinclair.
pass. I think yeah, I mean, goalkeeper of the year, relax. But I mean, Noah Allen I really think Noah Allen should be at center back, dude. Because if they're oh, did I lose you guys? We're back.
We're here.
Sorry, Noah Allen. I had a little internet blurb, but Noah Allen, if he can shift to center back, because I thought he was great at the position, right? But then who plays left back? I think they never really replaced Jordy, so it's going to be interesting to see if they require that of Allen and if he can give it on a week to week basis, because he's the starter for their CONCACAF games, right? So who do you go there if he goes out? Like, oh man, we may have. I'm ready for that next Miami loss to Orlando to really to really shake some things up.
Do you think they played their best soccer last year when Noah Allen was playing center back?
I mean, yeah, it helped to also have Rocco Rios Novo there, you know, like, and he's on the bench, dude. Like, it's like he could come in at any time, and that would really make a statement. You know what I mean? Or do you know who else did that last year? Switched their goalkeeper in the middle of a developing season after getting spanked by a Californian team.
Who?
LA Galaxy.
Oh, forgot about that.
Yeah.
So if we see Rocco Rios Novo and they lose, time is a circle, fellas. that is all I will say. But let's move on to our next OTB match. LA Galaxy, New York City. NYC still very strong, I think. Even I mean, the red card definitely helped them to, you know, get back in the game. But even after having the game, I thought all that was troubling about the Galaxy is like they're gonna have a really hard time moving the ball. And Paintsill did some great combinations, Peck as well, like on the outside, cutting in. But if you can just pack that middle, you know what I mean? It's like, how else are you gonna, you know, find those line breaking passes? what did you all make of this? The Sunday night soccer game. I know the Rapids and Sounders were the latest one, but this one was the Sunday night soccer showcase. What did y'all make of this one?
Jeremy, you got anything crazy and groundbreaking?
Nothing too crazy and groundbreaking, I'm afraid. I'm wondering whether or not Justin Hack playing as a defensive midfielder was due to Edwin Cirillo being suspended. My gut says yes, because I think now that obviously Garces has gotten himself sent off, I'm not shocked by that. I think it was a terrible call, but once again, he plays like he should be getting sent off every single game with the angles that he takes on tackles. Once again, that becomes a second yellow, but his tackle on Christian Paredes last year, which had a lot more contact going in with 2 feet, that doesn't result in even a booking and a penalty kick and whatever. I'm still salty about that. I do believe that the Galaxy, I thought Glesnes looked pretty good. I do believe Hack becomes the left side center back on a long-term basis. Peck and Paintsil, guys, they need someone to create for them. They do. Now, Paintsil more than Peck, I'm going to say, because Peck is just really – I think Peck is just better on the dribble. But it's going to be kind of a long season unless Joao Klaus can become like the link player, because I didn't see a lot out of Royce to really impress me. And on New York City's side, I didn't really see anything on New York City to impress me either. Like, I just saw a Galaxy team that failed to move the ball. He was fine. He was fine. It didn't really, like, jump off the page to me. I thought Lucas Harrington jumped off the page more than Kai Truin did, if we're talking about Aussies making their debut this weekend. But New York City's inability to just, like, create shots around the box and create, like, space and, like, the Galaxy's back line, like, sure, they added Glesnes, but it's still not that good, especially with Hack playing in the midfield. So you'd expect New York City to be able to create more. And Maxi Morales was pretty, like, he was kind of all over the place too. I'm not going to say, like, he was washed or anything, but I think if you stick Nico Fernandez-Mercado up top, you're going to have problems because he doesn't really want to remain central. He's more of a winger. So you need someone to occupy that space. And if we're talking about what does he even do, players, like, what has Augustino Heda done since coming to MLS? Like, this is
snap, bro.
Yeah, this is his third season in the league. You'd expect him to have a starting job locked down by now. And he every single week, it's just, I can't wait for Malachi Jones to get back, because then you get to move Hannes Wolf over to the right wing where he's going to be better. And you're actually going to have a dangerous player who's going to be on the wing. Augustino Heda does not scare me. But I would like also to shout out Tavon Gray, who is one of the most underrated players in this league. Outstanding right back, top 5 in the league. He's very good. And yeah, there really wasn't too much to take away from NYC in this game besides get your striker so you can put your DP winger back out on the wing.
Anything to add, Aziel, when it comes to either of these two teams?
Sorry, guys, I was muted. My dogs were making their way upstairs for bedtime, so I didn't want to cause any distractions while Jeremy was giving us his anti-NYCFC propaganda. I actually thought the LA Galaxy defense held up significantly better, and this is why I think sports are poetic. So last year, I guess last February, week 1, Major League Soccer rolls out their Sunday night soccer debut, right? Week 1, it is new team San Diego versus the LA Galaxy reigning champions. And LA Galaxy get ran off the field, right? I think if this same team from last year plays like they did last year, this year, NYCFC does the same exact thing to them. But I think you add Klaus, who does a really good job occupying space in the box, which gives you your room for your Peck and Payne Stills to start making plays. We might need to see a little bit more from Royce, but you also need to temper some expectations because he has a horrible knee and he's getting a little bit older. Like, he can still make every pass, he can still shoot, but he's just not up and down the pitch like we maybe would have liked to have seen him if he, when he was younger. I think this LA Galaxy team has improved significantly. My questions are more along the sides of NYCFC, but I think we'll get some answers on those over the next couple weeks. I don't want to speak too soon on them yet because last year I didn't know who they were until about the 12th week of the season, and I don't think I'm going to know who they are until about the 12th week of the season this year, and then we're going to hit a World Cup break, and they're probably going to sign a striker. So I don't have a whole lot to say on NYCFC, but I was actually impressed with the LA Galaxy because it's just such a turnaround from where they were last year.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, without Cerrillo, I can't really know for sure what this team looks like. I think if they keep using Hack at the midfield position, I think it's like you're using a Ferrari with training wheels, dude. Just put him in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Justin Hack was the highest rated center back free agent, not the highest rated defensive midfielder free agent. And I know he could do a job at both, but he was, y'all know how much I loved him at center back. That's once I saw him, I didn't even believe he could play center back. And then he goes in, he transitions. All the same could be applied to Ralph Priso, right? Like, why? Jeremy might be right when it comes to, maybe it's just because Cerrillo is gone, right? Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's Cerrillo, Sanabria, or Cerrillo and Hack, I'm gonna be so angry.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because Sanabria was good in this game. Because he's a second-year player, and he didn't really have a great year last year. He looked a lot better and more comfortable in this game too. He can be a good player.
I'd still rather see Elijah Winder over Sanabria, but I don't think he didn't play at all in this game. So sorry to hype up a player not here, but any other closing thoughts on these guys, or are we ready to move on to our top matches of the week?
Let's go to our top matches.
Yeah.
Okay, Well, I'll lead off with Jeremy then, because we have some interesting ones here for sure when it comes to Nashville, New England. But give us your number one. Alluded to her earlier, Jeremy.
Folks, the Portland Timbers are undefeated, and they did so by taking care of business relatively against the Columbus Crew, who still have not won at Providence Park in their entire existence. Congratulations to them. But what I would like to say here, first and foremost, is I saw something from the Timbers in this game that I've been begging to see. And it was a coherent pressing structure that actually forces opposing teams to make quick decisions under pressure, which is something they haven't done in the 2 years that Phil Neville has been head coach, aside from game 2 last year against San Diego. So when you have an organized pressing structure and you have two players just standing alone in the midfield, those two players being Cole Bassett, stud, and Diego Chara, stud, despite being 39 years old and making his 400th start in this game. If you provide pressure with that front line and you force both of those midfielders just to find the space and just start vacuuming up the second balls, you're going to have success. And that's what a good majority of this first half was for Portland. Now, sure, they conceded 2 goals, the first of which coming from a Christopher Velda error where he passes it back. Wessam Abu Ali, smart guy, notices that there's going to be a back pass coming in, comes in, cuts it off, beats both Finn Sermon and debutant Alex Bonateg, slots it past James Pantamis with his weak foot. Very good goal from a very good striker. And then the Timbers responded by putting the pressure on. Diego Chara wins the second ball on the edge of the box. Gage Guerra whiffs at his volley attempt. Felipe Mora is on hand to smash it past Patrick Schulte. Excellent. 1-1. 4 minutes later, Cole Bassett recovers the ball after Christopher Velda dispossesses, I believe it was Hugo Picard. Well, adding Hugo Picard to the what does he even do list, by the way. I am not convinced by him. Woof. He is not good. And he started over Gazdag in this one. Nuts. Bassett picks it up, just carries the ball forward. Anthony's free on the right side. Easy pass, easy finish. I mean, I say it's an easy finish, but he's shooting that across his body, and he beats Schulte to the far post. 2-1. Diego Rossi equalizes right before halftime because he has a little bit of space at the top of the box. It happens. It happens. He's Diego Rossi. I didn't realize that he scored like that many goals in this league. I think that was like number 80 for him across like his entire MLS tenure. He's a very, very good player. Actually elite. Very, very good. Doesn't do it justice. Second half, Columbus is in control. They're playing the majority of the game in Portland's half, and yet they still can't really create that many good chances. They have a couple of like dangerous crosses that go across the box. No one's on hand. Maybe a Daniel Gazdag could be there, but he doesn't get on the field until like crunch time, like after the 80th minute, which sets up the play of the game where Himir Fori sends in a cross. Kevin Kelsey is going for the header. He's trying to shoot it on goal, but because he's being pushed in the back pretty blatantly, he's only able to get a slight bit of contact. That contact allows the ball to just like settle in the center of the box, where Ari Lassiter comes in and just smashes it past Schulte. Keep in mind, Max Arston is watching that ball the entire time. He doesn't even try to make a run to attempt a clearance. He doesn't try to do anything on it. It's basically just set up for Lassiter to crash the box and score. Timbers hold off like the desperation from Columbus during stoppage time. That's game. That's 3 points. Timbers, energetic, decisive, moving the ball with intent and purpose. Excellent game from them. Columbus, they have good pieces, but it doesn't speak like I think it speaks volumes that Gazdag is on the bench for this one. And also, Max Arston got tracked down by Diego Chara like in the 87th minute, just trying to get to a loose ball in Portland's half. I don't know. I'm not too impressed by Columbus, but I still think they're a playoff team. But Portland, let's see what happens this weekend. How much of their how much of this like newfound like I guess fighting mentality do they bring to Colorado?
Oh, man. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm so like I got to see more games, but do I really want to? But now from Portland, we go over to Daniel for their best match of the weekend. Let us know who you have here.
We have the New England Revolution versus the Nashville Football Club. I don't know why. You think like New England has a cool name. It's the New England Revolution. You're like in the Nashville Yellow Men. I don't know.
Soccer Club. SC.
Soccer. SC. Yeah, SC. My bad. My bad, Nashville people. No, this game was exciting from the perspective of Nashville was a lot better than I thought they were going to be. I knew they were going to be a good team. Watching them last year, like you knew this team could score goals in bunches, but they could never put together a complete game, and they did this weekend. Versus your New England Revolution, where we were doing our prediction podcast last week, and it was like we don't really know what this team is to this point, but we know what they have to do to get better, right? We knew the goals had to come from somewhere. You had to get Carlos Hill help. Their defense needed to be more sound. We didn't know what the structure of this team was going to look like going into 2026. Suffice to say, New England doesn't really look a whole lot different than they did last year. They are still struggling for goals. They struggle heavily in possession. I think that's probably where Nashville won the game in total. They were just so much more energetic throughout the game. I thought Griffin Yo had a pretty disappointing first game with New England. I know he was a big signing, just a kid. Like it's as much different than being in Europe versus being in Major League Soccer. So I'm going to give him some grace. Turgeman, we talked about him last week. We said, if this New England Revolution team's going to be good, they need to find a way to find goals. Obviously, they need to come from Campania because now he's the lone striker up top. But Turgeman he was that other guy that was going to provide those goals. They had him play on the wing this weekend, and he ghosted out there, fellas. You could tell it's not his natural position. He wants to play. But because of that, he really, really, really struggled. Overall, I think this team struggled to not only keep the ball in their own third, but to keep possession, and that's ultimately a recipe for disaster. Even Matthew Turner, I mean, it was so bad, and there was just so much going on in front of him throughout the whole game that like he even struggled, and he's the guy who's supposed to stabilize everything, keep the core together. That's why they bring in a guy like that who's played at so many different levels of footy. He understands Major League Soccer. He understands soccer at an even higher level because he's had to do it, and he just couldn't hang. And I think a product of that is definitely coming from your back line, although I do believe that there is some work to be done there. I don't think it's that as bad as a group as what they showed against Nashville. It also comes, like we talked about the importance of the midfield, and literally looked like Carlos Hill versus the world in the middle there. You even had Turgeman like inverting in because he had to. You need someone to collect the ball. Flip over to Nashville. I can't say enough good things about some faces that I am watching play soccer for the very first time. They got this center back, and we didn't really talk about this as a signing that was like worth watching, but this Wolotsi kid is a freaking star. He is he was the most fun player to watch. I mean, we had a fantastic game from Sam Surridge, Madrigal. Like I can talk about him forever. That's how good he was. Espinoza looked amazing on the wing. Tags that leaps and bounds better than last year, and he was already good last year. The way he was coming to collect balls to break presses. Yazbek looked good. Mukhtar did Mukhtar things. You don't really have a better 10/Cam style player in the league right now. He's at least up there with the best of the best behind maybe Messi. Well, yeah, he's absolutely behind Messi. I'm not going to be outrageous, but that's how good this team looked. Like they were just really, really, really good. And it was dominating the whole game from their pressing. Everybody was active from Sam Surridge's movement because he floated out to the left and filled in for Madrigal as Madrigal came back to defend. And that opened up so much because New England's back line was just so disorganized after the press like was happening. I'm sorry. It's like I can word bomb it because it was so exciting to watch. It was so refreshing for what we saw last year as a good Nashville team to what I think they're stepping up to be a great team this year. Shawaki was also very, very impressive. They were out without Willis this weekend, and I thought he did a fantastic job filling in. Man, you guys need to watch this. There really might not be a better complete attack right now in the East than Madrigal, Surridge, Espinoza, and Hani Mukhtar. And I'm being absolutely serious when I say that. And I'm excited to see what they're able to accomplish at least over the next 5 to 6 weeks. If they can be consistent here, they could be really dangerous. The way that they move the ball and attack reminded me almost of watching LAFC against Inter Miami. It's the best way to put it.
High praise.
Very.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to think about for New England, and well, all of Daniel's Nashville points are spot on, 100%. New England was down three of their top three of their starting 4 defenders in this game. One of whom was Eli Feingold, who was on the bench for some reason. Yeah, when you look at this back line and you see Will Sands, Andrew Farrell in 2026, mind you, Andrew Farrell, 33-year-old Andrew Farrell, Keegan Hughes. Who the hell is that? He looks just like Will Sands too. What the hell? Where do these guys come from? And then and then Ethan Kohler, who for some reason is playing right back in this ahead of Feingold, I think it's okay to maybe temper, like maybe say this doesn't say too much about New England, as opposed to a result like this happening with Brian Ceballos, Mamadou Fofana, Peyton Miller in the back line. So, no, and Feingold starting. So, I don't know how much you can really read into this from a New England standpoint, but I mean, Nashville's going to do this type of stuff to teams all year because that attack is going to just keep on scoring goals. And also, by the way, Rubens Passius up to 2 goals on the season.
One more, baby.
One more.
That's crazy.
We're not even in March yet. Let's go.
Watch him just stay at 2.
Can we not, please? I mean, it would be really funny. I'm not gonna lie, but can we not?
Oh man, we'll see. Any other thoughts on these 2 teams, guys? I mean, I think he stole my New England take because I saw that back line. I think it's a long season. What if you have to rely on these guys a bit more than usual? And little Campana up top, like I know you had him as your projected MVP, Jeremy. I know it said Leo instead of Lionel Messi, but yeah, we have the screenshots. We know you projected Leo Campana. In any case, I don't know. Like New England is. They're the team I put in 15th place. So a result like this only makes me feel that much more confident in the take. But fellas, I'm gonna move on to my number 1 of the week. We'll hit on Josh's if someone wants to pull up the spreadsheet. I just having some internet issues. But we will go to Red Bull New York and Orlando City. Fellas, I have another addition. So what does he even do? Adrian Marin.
Yes.
Last season, it was like, oh man, I hope it's just the first, season that he joins Jitters. And since then it's been just, oh man, I don't know. Like not an inspiring left back there. I mean, I said the East, like I have some teams in the basement that have got to make a comeback, that have got to bounce back. And on the prediction, not the prediction show, what was it? On the offseason mega, I said, yeah, Orlando will just figure it out because they'll figure it out, right? And they're now about to go and get Antoine Griezmann, if all reports are to be believed from Tom Bogert. And
why though?
That is just not what. That's not who you need. Like
exactly.
Like, oh man, Griezmann to Orlando when you have Martin Ojeda. I mean, maybe Griezmann can play as a striker, right? But I always thought Griezmann better as a 10 than as a striker. Like Austin getting Griezmann would be scary. You know what I mean? Like that is kind of, a kind of move that makes a lot more sense than Orlando. Maybe I want to be proven wrong on this because I do love Antoine Griezmann. He is one of my favorite players, but man, who's your right back? I guess it's Griffin Dorsey now, but like, who's your center back? Iago, Nolan Miller. You know what I mean? Like, oh man. But all that is to say, on the other side, it's the Michael Bradley era, fellas. After killing them last season in the New York Red Bulls eulogy when they officially missed out on the playoffs, I said, I don't know how I feel about this team with Sandro Schwartz in it. There's like really nothing that can really get me to believe in this team can actually, do the thing that they used to. Like I remember watching the time in this league when the Red Bulls were consistently top of the supporters yield standings. Okay. So now, it's first year first year back after missing the playoffs for the first time. And Michael Bradley decides to go with just a contingent of youth guys. Mehmeti, Julian Hall getting some starts out there. Not unlike the usual Red Bull system. Gonzalez, I think, at left back as well. Justin Che in at center back. No Volader, which I think is massive, honestly, because it felt like that was going to be their starting center back for a time there. But I mean, Marshall Ruddy out there at the right. Gotta love Marshall Ruddy, man. Just plenty to like about the Red Bulls. It is against Orlando. You know who else beat Orlando pretty badly was the Rapids in preseason trading. And maybe Orlando is just bad, and that gives me more reason to feel justified in predicting them to be out of the East, because the East is just, it's stacked, bro. Like everybody beats Montreal, and then you just don't want to be the team that consistently gets beat less than Montreal. But nonetheless, I don't know. It's a killer's row across the East, fellas. How do we feel? How are we feeling about these two teams? Or are we ready to move on to your second best games?
I have one Orlando point, nothing on the Red Bulls. Red Bulls, just do it again next week, and then I'll start taking you seriously. I do not have a high opinion of Orlando. I feel bad for Maxime Crepeau, though. This was supposed to be a good move for him. Go to a team that's supposed to contend in the East, hopefully get a World Cup spot, earn that World Cup starting job. He made a fuck ton of saves in this one because his defense is shit. So he goes from a team with a shit defense and he signs with another team with a shit defense. At least he can hold his head high after this one. I'm happy that he can at least do that. But Jesus Christ, he got peppered. Do you want to know how many expected goals on target he faced in this, just from all the shots that went against him?
I mean, a lot of those goals were also just super close too. But
yeah, he faced 5.63. So he was single-handedly keeping them in this game. This could have been 5-0 at halftime, if we're being completely honest.
Also, I got the left back wrong. It was Matthew Dos Santos, not Matthew Gonzalez. Poor oversight from me. Any thoughts on Ruvalcaba or Cade Cowell?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so upset if Cade Cowell goes crazy and the Rapids were linked to him and it didn't end up happening. But fellas, let's go to our games that are mid, to say the least, right? Because the way we do, let's touch on Joss's. I think which one did Joss put in? Did anyone want to check real quick?
Yeah,
we may as well go through all of Joss's and just speculate.
Yeah.
I think he had Cincy Atlanta as his worst game. And I don't mind passing over. I mean, the Evander stuff is huge, but it seems like it's not going to be as badly as predicted. But again, guys, this is a team I predicted to finish outside the playoffs, and they didn't look like a team that was going to finish outside the playoffs in their match against Atlanta. I think Josh said that this team was unk ball, right? They went and got Sergio Santos and Fafa Pico. So they're like, yup, dude. So I fell for it again very early on in the season, fellas. Maybe Tata figures it out, but there's just, I don't know. Miranchuk, Almiron, and Latte just do not fit together. They
do not.
They just, it's like the color purple, the color, what's another bad, brown, the color red. That mixture is Atlanta United. Purple, red, and brown.
Just ugly and disgusting.
If you ever go into someone's house and it's painted purple, red, or brown, that's how you know that's peak. That's like the worst feng shui vibes ever. That's what Atlanta is, though, because I did catch this one live and it was just painstaking to watch them. Any thoughts on those guys? I know that's Joss's worst, but it's not hard to see why.
What was it about this Atlanta team that made you think that they could be? I'm just curious.
Tata.
It was literally just the Tata
and a Johnny Fortune. But then a Johnny Fortune, like, he may not even be. I mean, I'm hoping he comes back from injury, and gets comeback player of the year. But that's like if a Johnny Fortune is comeback player of the year and Tata Martino cooks, come on now.
If that happens, they finish 7th. Juanners. Like this team does not have a very high ceiling.
No, but I think I had him. What did I have him? Now we have the. I had him in 8th. No, wait, no, I didn't. I had him in 9th. I had him just sneaking in on some of these other teams, but I mean they lost to Cincy, so that doesn't hold up well there. But I don't know. With it, well, it'll be interesting to see the Evander news. Any thoughts on these guys?
I only have one thought on Cincinnati. They just wrapped up their first CONCACAF matchup tonight. They destroyed O&M FC by a score of 9-0, which pushed their aggregate score to 13-0. So congratulations to Cincinnati for doing a Joe Burrow impersonation, putting a couple touchdowns on the board.
And the plus two, so they're 16-0 in the last week.
Yeah, I'm. My God, Ayub Jabari got 2 of those, by the way, but not the 2 most important ones. I don't know. I mean, they're Cincinnati. They still have such a big talent advantage.
And Giddy's awesome.
Yeah, and Giddy's really fun. Nwobodo had 3 assists in this game, which the game tonight, the 9-0 against O&M, who play in. Sorry, we do not have any info on this team, says Fatmob. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Who does Cincy play this weekend? That's what I'm really interested in. Like, are they gonna have like a game that makes me think like, oh,
Minnesota?
Like I have to pay attention. They're at Minnesota. That could be fun.
Big news, breaking news.
Breaking news.
13-0 that FC Cincinnati did tonight is the largest aggregate deficit in the history of the CONCACAF Champions Cup.
Can they hang a banner for it?
No, well, Pat Noonan will tell you that's the most important record to have.
A trophy's a trophy.
What was Joss's second? What was his mid match?
He had
Houston, Chicago, right?
He had not worst or best San Jose versus Sporting Kansas City. Wonder why that is.
You guys are gonna have to guide me through the SKC happenings here. Jake Davis is at the holding midfield position, right? My eyes didn't deceive me there.
He played as a second striker, Juanners.
Really?
Yeah, he played as a second striker because I'm trying to remember who had to go off early. Oh, yeah, because basically SKC looked pretty competent through the first 38 minutes of this game. Then Justin Reynolds went off with an injury. They brought on Kwok. Oh, my God. I apologize in advance.
Agyabang.
Agyabang. God, that's such a sick name. If only I could pronounce it. They brought him in to replace, and that moved Jake Davis to right back because this team still has no players. And after Jake Davis goes to right back, this entire game goes south for SKC. Like they were actually like somewhat competitive in this. And then Daniel Mooney scores in the 42nd minute. Preston Judd adds another one, like right before halftime and stoppage time. They're cooked from that point forward. Like they're just done. They need to sign more players. I feel like we're just going to keep saying that about SKC for like the majority of this first half of the season. They need more players.
What happened to Capita? Was that the name?
Yeah, I don't think that went through. I think they're looking. I saw. Hold on, let me pull up the name because God, I love whenever these like ridiculous names are coming in. They're going to sign Diego Borges, who I believe is a winger. They're signing him from a Hungarian team called, bear with me,
Oh God,
Zalaegerszeg.
he did it. The
So
legend.
that is a player who is coming to Sporting Kansas City. Another player is going to come to Sporting Kansas City, Lasseberg Johansson,
Johnson.
who, yeah, Johnson. Jesus, I'm getting just punched over the head by names.
He is
in this.
Swedish
I
though,
should know
right?
this. Yeah, and he did very well at Malmo under one Henrik Rydstrom.
See, here's the thing I want to say, because on Dallas, there's what's his name? Johansson. But what's his first name? What's his first
Herman.
name? Yeah, I want to say Herman Johnson. And I want to say Sir Johansson. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit of a mismatch. Like I thought it was Herman Johnson for the longest time, because that that rolls off the tongue, but it's Herman Johansson. And what is it? Lassie? Ah, man.
Lasseberg Johnson.
Lasseberg Johansson. No.
Johnson.
Lasseberg
Yes.
Johnson. Okay. Yeah, what were you saying though? Sorry.
Basically for San Jose, Nico Chakiris has the number 10 jersey. He's playing like a number 10. He's doing pretty damn well. Help my fantasy team. SKC signed more players. And that's it. I don't know why Jansen Miller isn't starting. I don't. Like he's one of the only guys on this team that's just like he's a good player. And you're getting Wyatt Meyer and Ian James over him. Just come on, Rafi. Rafi
Wikipedia. 2 goals for Mooney though, and no Dave Romney.
Mm-hmm.
Does that open up a Dave Romney for the transfer market, dude? Where would you put Dave Romney if you could?
Colorado.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I mean, come on now, don't do that. What about Montreal, dude? Come on, that's the pick.
No, I don't. It doesn't move the needle. That doesn't move the needle for me at all on Montreal.
No.
Montreal would need to sign a lot more than that.
Well, yeah, but I'm just, I don't know. I just don't see Dave Romney starting, and maybe that's an indicator of what's to come. But Reed Roberts, Mooney, some of these. I mean, Mooney has slowly and surely, year over year, been like getting better and better and better. Like, they're an underrated player there. DeJuan Jones at left back. Ricketts at left wing. San Jose, man. Yeah, dude, they are. We'll see just how sustainable this all is, right? But beat up an SKC team at home.
They got the free sticks on the bingo card.
Yep.
People are saying Daniel Muni's the new Jack Elliott. In terms of goal scoring prowess. I can't wait to nominate him for my Defender of the Year.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, man. And then his worst game of the season, or his worst? Did he have a worst?
No, the worst was the Cincy game. We were looking for his best.
His best, which was
whichever. Oh my god.
I think he said Colorado, Seattle first half, which of course we should have mentioned that, but I guess by de facto his one is Houston, Chicago. Houston playing out of that back three. We got Dwayne Holmes now out at right wing back. Very interesting stuff there. But Houston, man, like Guilherme, welcome to the league, Guilherme. Like it always felt like it was a signing that they made of like, like, is this really, who they need? And so far he's looked pretty awesome. I am sad to see the Chicago Fire here a little bit, shaken to start the season. No Gutman. I think they're also missing Bamba out there. Wasn't really out playing. Jack Elliott, who had a head injury. Jonathan Dean. I know Barroso is the young talent they want to make be the starter, but I really like Jonathan Dean, guys. He's one of my favorite wingbacks in the league. Very underrated, in my opinion. But what were your guys' thoughts on Houston, Chicago, and this one?
Daniel, you got any?
Don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on Chicago outside of they're just a fun team I'm always going to be rooting for, and I hope they get fit so we can actually see how fun they are. I think
Kuiper's still here, though.
Yeah, Kuiper's is nasty, but
favorite striker in the league right now.
What'd you say?
He's my favorite striker in the league right now.
You think? That actually leads me into a really good point I have for Houston. I actually think this Houston team could be very, very good. My only questions for them are, can they get 12 goals out of Ponce this year? And plus 12 goals? Because I feel like he can be hard to watch because he just occupies a ton of space and doesn't really move as much as I'd like to see him move or help in build-up play. But if they could find a way to get him going, I think that they could be like really, really, really good this year. And there's a lot of opportunity right now that can be seized in the West, I believe. If they could find a way to gel here early and find a way to have a defensive game like they did today, or this weekend, and a more productive, I guess, way to score goals more efficiently. Sorry, I don't know why I worded that so weird, but a more efficient way to score goals consistently, because that's really what they struggled with last year, and it was nice to see them kind of get off to a strong start.
Jeremy, anything to add on Houston, Chicago?
I'm still not convinced about Houston, guys. I think that Chicago's not good defensively. And they were without Jack Elliott in this one. And I wasn't too impressed by Embo Kazi on his full debut. Another player who does not impress me on Chicago and who I don't really get the hype for,
don't say it.
Jay Davila.
Oh, yeah, dude. Okay.
Thank God.
It seems like it's a really popular thing for a lot of like the national pundits. Not saying that they're wrong or anything, but I don't see it, especially last year when Romanike Kouame was playing and he was fantastic. He was a lot better than Davila whenever he stepped on the pitch. And I feel like a lot of that hype is generated because the Chicago Fire need Davila to be very good this year in order for them to be very good. He was not good in this game at all. He isn't. But on to Houston, which I did find some interesting stuff. Dwayne Holmes as the Griffin Dorsey replacement. I didn't think that was going to happen, but credit to you. Credit to you, Ben Olsen. I guess you knew what you were doing. Guilherme did a very good job, even though his second goal was more opportunistic than it was like a moment of brilliance. I think that also factors into the many faces of Chris Brady that we see. That shot that comes in that he ends up parrying directly into Guilherme's path. Probably should have been directly out of bounds, but he keeps it in play. I don't know.
Most exciting goalkeeper in the league.
No, exactly. That's where I was going with it. Like, there have to be a lot of things that go correctly for Chicago in order for them to defend competently. And although their top end talent still has them like really high up, this is one of those week one games that we're going to go back to in September and be like, this is hilarious. This is utterly hilarious that Houston was able to get this win against the Chicago Fire.
See, I think it. I mean, when you take a look at the cross conference matchups, right? Like you had LA Galaxy beat the New York. Well, they didn't beat New York City, but 1-1 there. San Diego pummeled Montreal. Everybody pummels Montreal. Portland beats Columbus. LAFC beats Miami. Houston beats Chicago. Which other ones? I think that is it. St. Louis and Charlotte 1-1. Like the West didn't lose. And I think that's just the fact of like early season. Whenever we start out, the West is always just built to take punishment, to take these like, kinds of attacks like Chicago's, right? But in the East, like it really is like all out where are the goals all the time, right? And so I think Chicago will be fine. They just ran into Houston, who are coming off a bad year where, hey, maybe we should clean up our defensive principles, right? I mean, Sviatchenko, Antonio Carlos, and Lucas Halter all on the field together. Like I don't know what Houston looks like without Sviatchenko, but I've seen enough of them I've seen enough Houston to know that without him, they're not as reliable in the defense, right? Now, still want to see Gillingham, of course, but if you got three guys ahead of you that could really protect you in Sviatchenko, Carlos, and Halter, like I'm all for the solidity in the midfield there, and it allows Jack McGlynn to not have to be so worried about doing too much against the ball. You got three guys doing enough against the ball for you. But yeah, two teams. What did Josh say? I think he said something about. I'll get Josh's quote in here because he put it up in a nice little bow. Unless someone has got it.
He's got
an early season MLS game where both teams are figuring themselves out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Also, Juanners, going off of that West versus East thing, every single West team in those matchups this week was the home team.
Oh, okay.
So it was all East teams traveling West.
So when do the West travel East? That's going to be the second side of this that we got to see, right? Do we have some of that this season, this upcoming slate? I mean, Chicago will bounce back. They got Montreal. Yippee. Good for them. But Minnesota hosting Cincinnati. That one doesn't really work there. San Jose hosting Atlanta. Dallas hosting Nashville. SKC hosting Columbus. Yeah. The East is
it's the same thing.
Do you think the West petitioned to have all the East because they got sick and tired of us all saying they stunk last year?
Maybe. I mean, that'd be funny, huh? But man, Vancouver and Toronto. Are there any standout Eastern Conference matches? New York, New England. I mean, New York, New England will be fine. That'll be fun. That's it, though.
Standout Philly, NYC. That's on Sunday.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, see, I'm not seeing the Sunday slate. What else is on Sunday?
DC's traveling to Austin, too. What? The trend continues. What the hell?
Oh, man. It's cold in the East, bro. It's cold out there. Let's go play more games there during this time. Fellas, let's move on. Are we tackling our mid games? Are these our mid games?
Yes.
I'm going to go over to, I'll start off, Vancouver RSL. Guys, again, RSL, come on now. Are we ready to ride along the RSL towards the bottom of the standings? Because none of their new signings here were in the match. Like no Engel, no Juan Manuel Sanabria. We did get Hezer Khani, Zach Booth, Ariath Peel. Come on, guys! Like not even a Diego Luna.
Oh my God.
And it really goes to show you. I mean, Pablo Ruiz didn't even start this match either. It was Luka Moisa debut from Real Monarchs. He scored 2 goals and 3 assists, 6 yellow cards, but they moved him up. 17-year-old kid benches Pablo Ruiz. That's kind of insane. Do you guys remember when Pablo Ruiz was not too long ago one of the best midfielders in this league, dude? Like,
Yes.
what
I
happened?
do.
Yes.
What happened? Then you got to get Philip Quinton in ahead of Yedlin to finish out the match. Like, guys, this was a rough roster to take into Vancouver. I am shocked Vancouver did not do more. They very easily could have. I mean, Emmanuel Sabby almost kills a guy.
Yeah.
Kills almost two guys in one quick sprint. But Ralph Priso still at center back, Berhalter, Kubas, like Muller getting a full 90s, nice. I mean, they had just played at the Hennes, right? I think they're playing right now.
That they are.
And maybe they're having
Still tied.
I was about to say maybe they're having a much grander time there than they did against the Sounders, or not the Sounders, the RSL. But fellas, when it comes to this match, I couldn't help but just feel like super excited to get a hate watch. And I got my hate watch. Believe me, I got my hate watch, but I just wanted more from this Vancouver team that maybe looking a little gun shy. They play well, but finish. Fellas, any thoughts, or do you want to go over towards your number twos?
I have one quick Vancouver thought. Welcome back to MLS, Aziel Jackson.
Yes.
Who,
Oh shit, yeah.
at this point, I have never been more convinced that a guy is a money laundering scheme. And here's why. Yeah, so he goes from USL League One to Minnesota, plays 2 Open Cup games in 2022, actually has a pretty good run out for their next pro team in 2022. That allows him to be on St. Louis for their inaugural season. He gets 3 goals and 4 assists. 2 of those goals come in Open Cup. And then he goes to he stays in St. Louis for the first half of the next season in 24, and he puts up Tony Snell numbers. No goals, no assists. What the hell? And then he goes to Columbus, 2 goals and 2 assists in the back half of 2024. Is in Columbus for the first half of 2025, 2 goals, 1 assist. Goes on, then he joins Polish club
Jagiellona.
Jagiellona, that's right. He goes there, gets 1
name.
assist in the Conference League, and now he's back in Vancouver and he scores 1 goal against not even RSL. This is Real Monarchs. Like, this is it. Like, how do you
It's a
roll
race to
out?
the bottom, bro. It's a race to the bottom between
So
RSL
bad.
and the Rapids.
They're so bad. Like, come on, Pablo Matrimony. You're better than this.
Pablo Macaroni.
Yeah, Pablo Macaroni. Like, you get your real name back when you do not roll out this starting lineup. This was horrific. And Vancouver should be ashamed that they only scored 1 goal in here. And Emmanuel Sabby should be ashamed that, like,
He killed the guy.
Felt like why you need to, like, if you have to kill a guy in a game, why are you doing it in the season opener against RSL? What the hell? But yeah, Aziel Jackson, he's just bounced around from club to club. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he could be very good. Well, if he was very good, he surely would have shown it by now. Maybe Vancouver is the spot where the money laundering scheme ends. That's it. This game is disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I have one that's kind of towards the bottom there, but Daniel, which one was your number 2?
I chose Charlotte and St. Louis as my number 2. Not that it was a boring game, but because I had to rate them. I think this was a lot of both teams still trying to figure themselves out. There wasn't really anything necessarily boring about this game, but there were some concerns that I have walking out of it as a Charlotte fan, and there are some like positives that you have as a St. Louis fan if you remember watching St. Louis last year and you're looking at them again this year. I guess we'll start with St. Louis because there were some key things that I was impressed with. Starting with Hartel, he kind of reminds me of like a almost poor man's Pep Beal, the way that he's able to kind of
This guy.
you don't think? You're about to be like, Daniel, why are you saying he's a poor man's Pep Peel when we don't really know if he's better than Pep Peel or not? But he's not.
He's got a worse celebration than Pep Biel.
He didn't do it this time. I was looking out for it. He didn't do it. I think
ridiculous.
I think Marcel Hartel might be better.
No. Hold on. We'll get to Charlotte here in a little bit. No. We'll leave it up to a vote, though. Jeremy, if you had to pick either Pep Biel up or Marcel Hartel to improve the Portland Timbers right now, which one are you taking?
Pep Biel.
Okay, thank you.
What does he do?
I am taking Pep Biel, but it is closer. It is pretty close.
Yeah, but the way he was able to kind of dictate the way they moved offensively was impressive compared to what we watched last year. I think Simon Becker is a stud. I don't know why we didn't see more of this last year. He just creates so much havoc, and he's so strong. He reminds me of somebody. He almost reminds me of Brian White, which is really weird, but it's the way that he's just physical and he boxes people out on runs instead of trying to run past them. And it is good football from what I saw. The thing that made me kind of be hesitant of saying, hey, this St. Louis team is good, was the way they just packed. It was almost like watching an Atletico Madrid team where they score a goal and then they just stack the box, and it's just the slimiest low block I've ever seen.
Look at your freaking jersey, bro. Look in the mirror.
No.
Look in the mirror.
No.
Yeah.
We didn't have the opportunity to do that this game. Okay. So I can't really say that we did it. We don't know if the 2026 Charlotte FC team's going to do that. Dean Smith might have turned a corner. We weren't given the opportunity yet. But no, that's the only thing that gives me hesitations with this team, was just the way they were ready to pack it in when they had so much momentum. Like, it felt like every ball was going their way. They were winning every press. It was really, really concerning. They won the midfield in this game, which leads me into Charlotte, because we talked about this earlier with a few other teams, how important midfielders are becoming. It doesn't matter how good your attackers are. It doesn't matter how mediocre or good your defenders are, because I'm gonna have to call out some Charlotte defenders here. But if you can't control the game in the midfield, then you're in trouble. Luca De La Torre, very, very good football player individually, I believe. Ashley Westwood has been the main man in the midfield for the last better part of 3 years now for Charlotte FC. And they look like they had no idea like where each other would be on the pitch. Like, it was like almost no communication, and it caused so much congestion in the midfield, and we weren't able to progress the ball forward as, I guess, unchaotically as you'd like to see when you have that much individual talent on a team like this. Wilfred Zaha maybe touched the ball twice in the first half. I'm certain if he did not have an assist in this game that he was going to freak out. Like, we were joking about it during the middle of the game. It was just like, man, he's got like 4 touches this game. Like, if he doesn't do something, it's going to be on a Snapchat story somewhere. Like, it was that concerning. And then when your offense doesn't start picking up until Leal Abada gets subbed off, that's also very concerning. There's things that Leal Abada does well that I like. He tracks back really, really well. It's what he does going forward and what he provides for Charlotte that makes it so concerning for how much you're paying him when you have Kerwin Vargas on the bench that can move the ball forward significantly better than him and be more dangerous. So I think Dean Smith needs to get this lineup right. This team so greatly misses Adelson Malanda. And that showed because you don't have a center back you don't have 2 center backs that can play with their feet really, really well. Tim Ream, for how much he gets burnt defensively, it gets made up for by how well he's able to pass and distribute the ball as a center back. You did not have that with Andrew Privet. So that's going to be something that they need to fix or figure out, I guess, going forward. I also want to say, I don't know what I think of the Tuffalo and Byrne pairing yet. What I do know is until the midfield figures it out, they're not going to be able to play the way they want to because they go forward constantly in this style of play. And if they don't have someone to play off of, they kind of have to sit back the entire game. And then Kalina, superstar. He was on
best player on the team.
Yeah, best player on the team. It's like they're not paying
not
him.
Pep Biel, by the way.
Yeah. Well, Pep Biel's the best as hacking option on the team. But yeah, Christian Kalina, easily a top 3 goalkeeper in this league, I believe. That's how good he is and how much he means to this team. I counted 4 ridiculous saves that 28 other keepers in the league let in, that he just managed to save us a point. So Christian Kalina, thank you for everything you do. You will keep us in playoff contention until this offense figures itself out. I love you.
Any thoughts, Jeremy? Because I have plenty on St. Louis, but if you wanted
to, I don't have a ton besides no falls, no Mamadou, no Falu. So I'm not going to make any judgments on St. Louis until I can see what I can assume is going to be the 2 legs of their 3-headed center back trio now, because Dame is doing the Nancy thing with the back 3.
Dude, of course it's not fall, bro. We're in spring. We're about to hit spring, dude. Come on. MLS is back.
Right.
MLS is back. My St. Louis thoughts are you alluded to it. He's doing the Nancy thing, and I think just wait until Mbake and Fall are in, right? But man, if they had subbed in Celio Pompeu instead of Cedric Toykert, this is a 2-0 St. Louis, 2-1 St. Louis win. But Kalina, goes up against Toykert, and of course is going to save Toykert's chance there. But man, St. Louis, man, I think they gave a lot to be encouraged about. I just think they're going to finally play ball in a way that they've always really needed to, in a way that's going to really piss off Joss. It's going to be insane. Really like Dante Polvara. Hope to see more of him at the outside center back role. And no more Leo Abada, dude. Please. I also want to see Schnegg at left back, Toffolo at right back. So I know it's people think it's between Toffolo and Schnegg, but I think Toffolo can fit in on the right there. But let's go over to Jeremy's number 2. What do you got for us? A little bit of a mid here.
Well, here's the thing. This is once again number 2 in name only, but it's another 3-2 game, another wildly entertaining match, but it's Dallas and Toronto. I cannot say anything about Toronto in this game because they haven't played with Josh Sargent yet. So whatever Toronto stuff I was planning on, it doesn't matter, except for one thing. Juanners is a Gavron believer. I am a Gavron denier. He was awful. Absolutely awful in this game. And this is for a Dallas team that finished with only 3 shots on target. He let in every single shot on target he faced. So if Toronto wants to be a playoff team, which you'd think they would be by splashing $22 million on Josh Sargent, which is what is that, 11 Ayub Jabaris? Yeah, I think they want to be a playoff team pretty badly. Dallas continued to do the same Dallas thing they did last year. Shaq Morris playing left center back again. Sebastian Ibeaga is playing right center back, the opposite side of their dominant foot. Like, only fucking Eric Quill would invert his center backs like this. This is so stupid. I hate that this works. But the good news is when you have Erman Johansson, you have a wide outlet. You have someone that can finally force Ramiro to play defensive midfield again. But Pedar Musa, 90% of the time he plays a game this year, is going to be the best player on the pitch. That's what he was in this one. Logan Farrington scored a goal to make it 2-1 in the 38th minute. It happened because Pedar Musa drops in to like the defensive midfield and hits this beautiful ball over the top that results in Walker Zimmerman, Kosi Thompson just completely losing their minds and allowing Farrington, through the sheer superpower of running, just to catch up to the ball, latch onto it, and put it past Gavron. It's hilarious. Toronto defended like a comedy of errors in this game. I don't know how sustainable this is going to be for Dallas. I know it's like, okay, like Musa's one of the best players on the pitch. They haven't had any minutes from Valente yet, who's expected to be their number 10, which they're desperately going to need against teams that don't defend as badly as Toronto. But yeah, Musa also ends up getting the game winner in this one. It's just, yeah, Dallas wins this. It was exciting. Lots of shots, lots of goals. Georgi Mihailovic gets on the score sheet too. Congratulations to him. Very well taken shot in the 15th minute to tie the game. Derek Etienne bundled it in. And Osaze Urohide gets an assist as well on Musa's first goal, the one that opened it up, which once again, due to calamitous Toronto defending. Like, if you had told me Walker Zimmerman was added to this team and was playing in this game, I'd be like, where the hell was he? He was terrible in this game. Toronto's defense is going to be very problematic. But once again, they have John Sargent, so can it really be that bad?
Man, I'm gonna hope that Robin pulls through, bro. But I think, oh man, we'll see. Because no Corbianu, no. I mean, maybe that might not even be enough. It just felt like their floor just fell out of them, because it wasn't too long ago they were just a tough team to break down, right? Maybe that a lot of that was Sean Johnson, but man, I'm just, because I look at the roster and it's like, yeah, if it's not going to be Kosi Thompson, who is it going to be at center back? And I never really thought Kosi Thompson was a center back, much even less a right back. I've always projected him better in as a holding midfielder. He's the reverse Priso. Oh, maybe that's what they full circle moment. Toronto goes and gets Priso. Oh, he rejoined with Robin Fraser, rejoined in the club that all developed, and that'd be insane. One Dallas note here: no Delgado. That was interesting. They decided to go with one defensive midfielder, 2 8s in Kappas and Kaique, but I think they're better as dual pivots behind a 10, right? So maybe
yes, if
that becomes a Valiente, I would like to see it, but then still Delgado is out in either case there. Lucius Donditson had about 30 minutes, give or take. What does he do? We'll see.
Yep, too early to tell.
You're right.
He does not go into the what does he even do category until he's like actually starting games.
Well, it's more so like well, they like, is he a striker or is he a fullback?
I don't fucking know. He doesn't start.
It's a little bit more of a what does he do question mark, and not what does he even do. It's more what does he do?
And this is, keep in mind, this is an Eric Quill team. So like he could be naturally, I think he's a forward, but I mean he's wearing number 7 after all. Like
they Kamungo'd him.
7. Yeah, I think they might Kamungo him a little bit. And Eric Quill does not have like traditional personnel choices, which it sounds like I'm a dad talking about his son who went to. I'm going to stop on that one. We're about to go way out of bounds, but yeah,
way outside the box.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He said the thing. He said it.
He said the thing. It only took us a bit. But yeah, this is also going to be one of those games that we go back to like in September and look at and say like, what the hell happened here?
We'll see, man. We'll see. Let's go to our third game here, our de facto worst. You know, because the way we're gonna do it this year is I'm gonna have the fellas rank their assignments based on their favorite from best game, best watch, mid watch to least watch. Mine is here. I mean, I enjoyed all the games I watched, honestly. ATX Minnesota. the battle of the aerial duels. Zuni, I mean, he scores, but if you look at the goal, he may as well have birthed the goal as he. We have the author, and now we have the birther of goals, Murto Uzuni. That was a crazy goal, man. I'm sorry, because he doesn't. Is that a shot on target if he never shoots the ball, like, in the traditional sense, kick, foot, connect with ball go into net? No, he stole John Gallagher's goal for Austin's lead taking goal, but then Calvin Yaboa, just amazing awareness, just dunks on Brad Stuver. I mean, a lot of these goals were dunks. I mean, Heinz Eich, I had my background as Heinz Eich before we figured out that the backgrounds were causing lag. But Brendan Heinz Eich, man, he gets up for a goal. I want to shout him out because I remember when I was doing some of the valuations for Kickbase, I wanted to say Brendan Heinz Eich is that dude. And someone's like, no, Zvatok is that dude. I'm like, we're going in with Brendan Heinz Eich as the highest paid defender on Austin because, one, got to show Box State love. Two, it's true. He's just awesome. I love Brendan Heinz Eich. I feel like he's fit in. Like, it wasn't too long ago. He was one of the, like, he got saved from DC. He got freed from DC because he had to just be the guy at DC. And now to be the guy on Austin, who are a lot, sharper of a team defensively. Very happy for Heinz Eich. Facundo Torres, guys, he's playing the 10. Oh my God, what are we doing? Rosales at right wing.
Oh my God.
Guys, I thought we were going to get a 3-4-3 because much like Eric Quill, Nico Estevez is also making it really hard to who would have thought that of all these coaches, Ben Olsen would have just a bit more of a fun tactical idea than Eric Quill and Estevez. Texan soccer is truly here, guys. It is truly here. But 4-2-3-1, I would have much rather have seen. I mean, no B-row, guys. Like, that was a little weird. I mean, and for Minnesota, I need to give Minnesota another look, fellas, because honestly, like, of all the matches, this one kind of fell to the wayside. I mean, Morris Duggan, of course, scored, but
Morris Duggan,
Joaquin Pereira at the 10. Maybe it looks better when James is in at the 10, and Pereira maybe he is just better as a left winger, right? But overall, I mean, it's Minnesota, right? Like I feel like they're still shaking away some of the Eric Ramsey cobwebs, but I'll throw it over to you guys. Any thoughts on either of these two teams?
I just a quick stat thing. Austin had more XG from open play, and like 90%, like it's 1.27 to 0.91. Uzuni's chance, I kid you not, had an XG value of 0.98. So if you take that out, you are left with about 0.3 XG created from open play for Austin.
Facundo Torres at the 10. It'll solve all the issues.
They're still going to be so bad this year. Oh my God, it's unwatchable. It is. Yeah, Minnesota. I want to see a couple more games of them before I get a Cameron Knowles opinion finalized. I don't think you can do much. I think you just have to play a certain way against Austin because they are more intent on being terroristic than anything else.
Daniel, you have any thoughts, or would you like to proceed with your de facto worst match of the week?
I would like to proceed to my de facto worst match of the week.
Let's hear it then.
I got Montreal versus San Diego. This match went just about how I envisioned it would. Yeah. What's the Good Morning San Diego from?
Well, I was more thinking about the Madagascar.
Ooh,
San Diego.
that's a
San Diego.
that's a throwback. Yeah, this one pretty much went exactly how I thought it would. Down to the Toto Alvarez red card. It was just poetic. Like, I don't know. I tweeted this out yesterday, and it kind of got zero pushback, actually. Tweeted out that I'm not quite sure how this Montreal team is built right now, if they would even win the USL. I won't be shocked if, like, the USL championship, like, I'm not even sure they're as good as Louisville, being honest.
Damn.
Like, if they were to play a best of 5, I'm not sure they win 3 of those games. That said, I'm super excited for the midseason hypothetical Montreal we are going to inevitably do for a second year in a row because of it.
Yes.
We got to actually, like, make that a show or something.
The San Diego, they were just as impressive as they were at any time last year. They could just score on you so fast.
Wait, what's the giraffe's name? Sorry.
Marty.
Marty? Is it actually Marty?
I believe it's Marty. Because the lion is Alex. I forgot the zebra.
It is
I forgot
Marty.
the hippo. Yeah.
All right, San Diego Martys. That's their new name.
San Diego Martys.
The Martys.
We're gonna go to the Martys now.
the Martys. We're gonna take it over to the Martys. Dude, they score so fucking fast. How fast are giraffes?
Shit, dude.
Giraffe. Okay, this is a good Google actually. Giraffe land speed.
I like what the worst
37 miles an hour.
Become. What is it?
They can go 37 miles an hour at top speed.
A cool 12 above 25.
That's faster than a
yeah.
Yes, it is. I didn't get to see the news. Is how long is Pellegrino out for? He got banged up.
Pellegrino's out?
Yeah, he got banged up halfway through the game. He got mauled by Toto Alvarez.
Well, Brian Zomble came in and was just fine.
He got his ankle snapped, bro. Alvarez does not give a shit.
I can't. I'm not here for people snapping. I mean, Sabi tried doing it. It's week 1, fellas. Come on.
It's Toto things, man. He can't help it.
Just Toto things.
Yeah, but Valagari, we hype up Dom Dreyer as much as he deserves to be hyped up because he is. I also tweeted out that the East is better at every position, but the wingers in the West are nasty. What did I say? Dom Dreyer.
Dom Dreyer.
Did I say Dom Dreyer?
No, I heard you say Anders Dreyer, and then didn't you say Ani Valakari though? That's not a winger.
No, why did you say Dom Dreyer?
I swore I heard that. I was like, oh,
Anders Dreyer. Dom Dwyer. You know what I was thinking? I might have said that name because I was looking at the all-time goal scorers, and he's somewhere on that list.
For San Diego? He never played for San Diego.
No, I was looking at the all-time goal scorers in MLS earlier.
And for Hani, yeah.
Anyway, Valakari, I think, is going to end up being one of the best players in Major League Soccer this year. I think he's going to what?
Isn't it Dom Dwyer, not Dom Dreyer?
Yes.
Sorry. No, I know. I you said Dreyer so many times now, or Dwyer. I'm lost now. But
Jeremy got us all fucked up. Can we give like one? Can we put it like make this like a show where you put like stars up for contributions, and if someone does a negative contribution like Jeremy just did there with Dom Dreyer, they get a negative star.
Yeah, because that bricked my brain. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry.
Valakari is going to be one of the best players in the league this year, I think. I think San Diego is going to take I don't know. It's Montreal, so I'm not going to say they took a step forward. They're going to be just as good as they were last year. Absolutely.
I mean, they beat Pumas. Them beating Pumas was everything you needed to see.
Yeah, they're good. Like, they're a good team. They're good. Exactly what we thought they were. They were a good team last year. They're a good team this year. But I think Valakari is going to get more love than he did last year for the main reason of I think everyone now knows what Dreyer is. Now that the like shock factor of hey, like the second or third best winger in the West is Dreyer, right? Now I'm keep looking at it now because Jeremy's got me fucked up. I'm like, am I saying the right name? Jesus. I think now that everyone knows that he's a top 3 winger in the West at any given time, it's going to open up the Valakari conversation and what he actually adds to this team, because they're very, very good, and a lot of that flows through him.
Jeremy, any thoughts to add to these two teams?
This is the most result. It happened. We knew it was going to happen like this. Shout out Duron Ferry, though. He was the first ever player signed by San Diego, and he finally got his first team debut.
Shout out Kieran Sargent, dude, at left back. They put Bombino on the right, and Kieran on the left, and Kieran was fine. I mean, the thing is, like, it just goes to show San Diego just don't overcomplicate things at the fullback position. They just say next youngest guy up. I'm like, that's fucking cool, and they all just perform.
Hawk Dua, at this point last year to today, he is a legitimate top 10 center back in the West.
Top Marty of the league, bro.
He's a top.
He's
the number one giraffe.
Marty. He's pushing for top Marty.
Best, the most OTB player is from San Diego is our Marty player, dude.
That's the Hawk Dua.
Yeah,
because he's awesome. I mean, I remember when he first started at midfield, and I was like, I don't really know if I like him at midfield, guys. He's just shaky. And then they put him at center back. I'm like, what are they doing? Why are they putting him there? And then he just does it.
He did the Ralph Priso. He really did the Ralph Priso. It's unbelievable.
Jeremy, let's end with you, man. DCU, Philadelphia, ranked last for you here. DC finally beat Philly. It's something that rarely, if ever, this never happens. And
it never does. It's so beautiful.
Man, for all the teams that I've picked to finish outside of the playoffs, New England, Montreal, Orlando, Philly as well. I'm like, yeah, lose to DC. Yeah, lose to DC. Eat it.
Eat it.
Tell us about it, though.
What does this change about my perception of either team? It does nothing. I knew Philadelphia was going to fall off, and I knew DC was going to be better. Let's take a look at the only goal scored in this game, which should not have been the only goal because Ty Baribo hits the post a few minutes after this, and he should have had two. Ty Baribo should have had a hat trick in this game, if we're being honest. It would have been great. But Gabriel Pirani receives an outlet ball, holds it up against, I believe it was Macania, and then releases it to Peglo, who's running. And Peglo decides to curve his run inside, which causes, once again, this is something that Benteke would never do. This causes Baribo to curve his run to the outside and get in a better position to receive the return pass from Peglo, which he slots right past Andre Blake and celebrates like his life depends on it. This was beautiful. This was absolutely beautiful. Ezekiel Alado, meanwhile, making his MLS debut, he gets sent off in the what minute was this? The 59th minute for bad language. Given Ernst Tanner's history of less than savory comments, I have to wonder if this was something he really liked about Alada when he decided to make him the Union's club record signing. That is it. Also, Frankie Westfield wasn't good enough to go in this game. That's fine. It happens, But Finn Sundstrom, I saw a Philadelphia fan saying Finn Sundstrom might literally be the worst MLS player I've ever seen. That's because you're asking him to play left back when he's clearly a center back, and you're asking him to play the Kai Wagner role, which, as far as I'm concerned, only Kai Wagner can really play the Kai Wagner role, across the history of MLS. That's just how much of an outlier he was at being creative from the left back position. They did not sign a Kai Wagner replacement, so they're going to ask Westfield to do a lot of that kind of work. Does this mean Milan Olowski moves inside as part of the two striker with Damiani for their next game this weekend. Hopefully it does. I can't. Yeah, Damiani did fucking nothing in this game. God,
that's why I whispered it.
Yeah, Indiana Vasilev did nothing in this game too. Did you know that he was dribbled past 6 times? 6 times! Because that counts Peglo, who was playing on the left side, Kaisuke Kurokawa, DC's new left back signing, who looks pretty fun. I feel really happy about DC, guys. I really do. I think like Matti Peltola had a hell of a game too. So I'm really happy with DC. I think they can take the next step and actually become a playoff team if they find a guy to be a long-term partner for Peltola in that midfield. I'm convinced by Baribo and then Luis, who is spelled Lewis, who is Romanian Brazilian. Fascinating. Once he finally gets into a starting role, which I believe will bump Pirani out of the lineup, which is bad for the agenda, but good for DC. That'll be good, but they still need to find another central midfielder. And other than that, I'm pretty happy with my preseason assessment of DC not being the worst team in the East. Like, it's so obviously Montreal, and I'm kind of pissed I didn't put them a little bit higher. I should have had Philly in 12th, if I'm being honest. I really should have. But I allowed my arrogance to get the better of me, much like Ernst Tanner allows his arrogance to get the better of him day after day after day after day after day.
Yeah, if I were to change one team, it'd be DCU and Toronto. But that's, clearly after a, it's the first match day, right, fellas? There's always some overreactions. There's plenty to be had throughout the season. Before we end the podcast, I want to take us to a little bit of the fantasy corner. Of course, we are all in a kick-based league, and unfortunately, if you've been enjoying the league, I'm going to get together with Jeremy. We're going to have to reset it because informally there was a break in the rules here. You were only supposed to line up one player per team, and so ultimate sicko mode would ensue. But also we still have an odd number of players. Oh no, now we have an even. Okay, it worked out. We are straight chilling now with an even amount. Still 4 spots open if anyone wants to join between now and then, but I think we'll lock it right at the next match day. But just some rankings, of course. D Parks with a insane lineup here. He had Panamis, Che, Roberts, Valencia, and see, he got Valencia in there again. Godoy. Let's see. Can I see more of his team?
No, you can't.
D Parks crushed the first one. Bruce Arenas quotes which I'm pretty sure is Joss.
That's Joss. The pig in the SKC beanie.
Yeah. I mean, Tavon Gray, Reynolds, Aude. He had Aude in there. I for sure thought that that it would be Nelson at that position. But for you fellas, any big happenings from that first match week that you wanted to share?
I'm very. Oh, go for it, Daniel.
Yeah, I might be looking for a Westfield replacement and then a Freefo replacement, but I was happy to walk away with the win. Have you guys looked at any of these points? Like, what's the strategy for you guys? Like, what are you guys thinking? Like, are you guys trying to keep it balanced across the board? You guys trying to get one top goal scorer and then kind of build light around them? Like, what are you guys thinking from a fantasy perspective? Because I'm looking like, what's the value of Dennis Buenga? He seems like he's going to be the ultimate fantasy player this year. And how do I grab him and then build as cheaply as possible around him? That might be the new strategy, I think. That might be the new meta.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to. I mean, in this league, at least, you're gonna have to find like 500K outside guys starters, and they're on the app.
Securus, baby.
Try to find the value early, kind of thing.
Yeah, and just maximize it that way. I need to. I mean, because I'm still learning as well. I'm working on the information side of it, trying to present as close to the probable lineups as starting 11s, right? Market values, of course, but when it comes to the game, I'm still a noob. Like in the work league that I'm in, I lost. I was outside the two other guys that didn't line up a team. I was the lowest scoring employee in the office league. I'm like, man, I got cooked, dude. It's just like the Rapids, like all this expectation heading into the season, only for me to lay an egg like that. It's not the best look, but I'm still learning. Of course,
you got humbled.
The thing is, in the Sicko League, I had quite the time. I had a kick-based CPU, of course, but it was 1,044 points from me to 523 to the kick-based CPU. Jeremy beat Apple User. I don't know who Apple User is.
I don't know who Apple User is either. Congrats. I mean, sorry.
She'll beat the other Apple User who only lined up Messi and White. That's you got to get your lineups in, but Shill would have lost to. I mean, Shill's pretty up there.
Yeah, Shill's got a good team.
Yeah,
Shill's got a squad once he figures out what to do with a FIFA.
You got Rothrock in there.
Yeah,
Rothrock, Bassett.
I'm a Rothrock believer.
Man, Westfield, no goals of FIFA. Yeah. Jeremy, any standouts there?
Sakiris, once again, I the first player I searched for was Sakiris. When I was setting up this team, because I was like, he's going to be starting as number 10. He's just going to be creating chance after chance after chance. He ended up he ended as my top scorer for fantasy wise this week. This week, 1 point ahead of the other guy who I needed to build the plane around, Ender Ekanike, who had 174, and then Andrew Thomas just for some cosmetic points at the end, because I mean it's the easiest thing in the world. Just put the Seattle goalkeeper in. He's just not going to face shots.
Well, that's the thing is if the goalkeeper does face shots, he'll get points for stopping shots. That's why Kalina went so crazy. I saw him shot up.
I want to see what Kripo got this week then, because I think he led the league in saves. But
yeah, and he's the highest rated goalkeeper right now.
Yeah. I have already made some changes between last week and this week. I realized I could create some more space and get an elite goal scorer up top. So my team should be a lot better. I do have to kiss Ayub Jabari goodbye. But in the 1 week he will be on my team, he scored 69 points, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nice.
Well, fellas, don't get too attached to your teams, because again, I think there is a reset button, and we'll have the one player per club rule implemented.
So explain this rule.
Yeah, you can only pick one player per club, bro.
Okay.
You have to pick 11 different players. But I mean, before we get too far in the weeds, fellas, let's wrap the fantasy corner up. Let's wrap the podcast up. Daniel, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on X, the Everything app, at Vox Pro MLS. You'll see me there as Major League Shill.
Jeremy.
You can find me on the Elon app at Sports Guy Jeremy. You can find me on Bluesky, Jeremy Pierre, Bsky.social. You can read my work at CascadiaFC.com, where I wrote a pretty good recap of that Portland Timbers win, the only member of this panel to celebrate a victory this weekend. And I will hopefully be celebrating a victory this upcoming weekend in person in Colorado. And Juanners, what else is happening in Colorado this weekend?
I mean, we're definitely linking up. That's going to be a fun time. Beyond that, though, a Burgundy banter is coming right back to the listening public here. It'll make it is also in a preseason of its own, so we'll see just how coherent the tech is. I am hoping to have it figured out, and it may be a thing where we just do it off the phone, do it a little live stream style until I can actually sit down and order some live streaming equipment. Get the Starlink out there at the tailgate. Maybe that'll help. But yeah, I mean, Rapids FO. If you're this far and listening, get the Centennial 38 some Starlink out there, dude. Like get us some internet, some quantum fiber in good old Commerce City. But in any case, fellas, yeah, if you're at the game, pop up in towards the tailgate section, C38 tailgate. Jeremy and I will open up Burgundy Banter, quick discussion on the game, and then we'll open it up to other people to come in and share their thoughts and see how they enjoyed the match. And yeah, that's going to be it from us here at Outside the Box. My name is Juanners. You can catch me at Juanners715. Follow boxstatefooty.com for all your BSF needs. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like us on Apple Podcast. Share us everywhere you are. It'll only help us that much more. That's going to be it from us. Have a great rest of